Oh man, did Lunga leave? Yeah, he went out already. Yeah. Um, the miso referenced his son, man, and you reference like Jesus talks a lot about the kids, and Jesus just had a heart for kids. He had a heart for young people. He had a heart for youth. He started the first youth ministry. Like most of his followers were young men, especially early on, and so just celebrate that. We talked last week about Jesus um, saying, "Hey, if you want to be great in, if you want to be great, man, then you gotta be like this child, not seeking after status, not seeking after you have nothing to offer, but just receiving the love that God the Father has for you." And so, with that, there was a piece of it that we didn't mention. And if you've been reading through Matthew, which I'm going to ask you guys in a second, what's been sticking out to you from Matthew, especially Matthew 22 through 28. But if you've been reading through Matthew with us, after Jesus teaches the disciples this lesson, he doesn't rebuke them for being like wanting to be great. He says, if you want to be great, then you got to walk in humility and be like this child. After he says that, he says that, and if you take on leadership with these children, like you're going to be held accountable. You better do this well, because if not, if you cause one of my people or one of these kids to stumble, then it would be better for you to what? Anybody know? It would be better for you to have a millstone tied. This is really a sweet Christmas message so far, isn't it? I didn't know how deep I was going to go on this, but apparently we're going all the way. It would be better for you to have a millstone tied around your neck and be thrown into the deep than for you to take advantage of a young person, man, and for you to take advantage of anybody who's following me. So I'm gonna talk more about what God's been showing me as we go through Matthew. But for those of you who have been on this Matthew journey with us, just real quick, you don't have to give a sermon, but I know some of you guys were like, all right, I'm going to be prepared next week. So I just want to give you the opportunity, like what's a word, what's a verse, what's an idea that has stuck out to you through Matthew? If you talk longer than 30 seconds, I'm probably going to cut you off. But don't let that shy you away from like sharing. Like share what stuck out to you as you've been going through Matthew with us. We finished it this week. It seems kind of weird to go through Matthew and then end like the end of Matthew on Christmas week, but whatever, we're good. We're still going to talk about Christmas. Paris and then Alicia. Yes, sir.
Just as far as what stuck out to me, Matthew 28:20 was the Great Commission.
Come on, baby.
About in principle here, so like
Yeah.
reading it within that context is pretty cool.
Yeah, man. You hear me talk about the Great Commission all the time. We're going to talk about it today. Yeah, go make disciples. It's like, oh man, this is the man. It's different to read the story. A lot of times we read verses, like the verse of the day today. Did anybody read the verse of the day today? I've been reading the Christmas story over the past week or so since I finished Matthew. I'm like, what do you want me to read now, Lord? And I'm like, I'm just going to be slowly crawling through the Christmas story. And the verse of the day from the Bible app, do you guys do that? Does anybody catch what it was today? Something about Mary saying, my soul magnifies you, O Lord. Right? And a lot of times we'll just take a verse out and be like, okay, my soul needs to magnify the Lord. But then when you realize, like, oh my gosh, that's Mary, and she just like found out that she's going to give birth to the Savior of the world. Wow, this is a big deal. And she's getting confirmation about it. When you get the stories and the verses in context is everything, bro. That's why it's a really good idea, when possible, to read as much of a book of the Bible as you can, or read it from beginning to the end. So you get the whole, you don't watch a movie in like 2 minute, right? Like, it'd be a whack movie. Don't read the Bible like you watch shorts. Don't just go to it for a hit of dopamine and get the whole story. All right, this is a good message. All right. Alicia, what did you have? What stuck out to you from Matthew? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So chapter 20, Jesus is doing a lot with his leadership, man. Chapter 23, he's calling out the Pharisees. We'll talk about that in a second. But yet he's teaching others. It's that idea. He's always speaking in code, and the ones that want to get it are like, yo, and then the ones that don't get it are like, huh? You know? Yeah. Or they're just too prideful and their hearts are too hard to hear it. Good stuff. Anybody else? Yes, Scott.
The wedding, King's wedding.
Yeah.
Like, I never really thought about it until I was like reading.
How far are you going to go on this?
Not far.
Okay, cool. All right, this you lobbing it up to me. That's good. That's where we're going next. Yes.
I
Okay.
was looking at it.
The king's wedding he's talking about.
I
Okay.
never thought of it this way, but like the guests are his people.
Yeah.
The Jews.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm inviting you. You're not coming.
Come on, bro.
So now I'm inviting everybody else.
Yep.
And those who come,
Yeah.
they're welcome into this place. But
Yeah.
if you're not
Yeah.
dressed for the occasion,
Yeah.
you know, even if you're
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
never thought of it as him talking to
Yeah.
the people he promised everything to and then
Yeah.
reflecting it.
Yeah. You never. Yeah. Yeah. Me too, bro. Can we go there in just a second? That's the passage for today. We're not talking about Christmas. We're talking about a wedding. Has anybody in here got married recently? Speaking of weddings, we got a couple newlyweds in the house today. Praise God. Then we won't draw any more attention to you. You're welcome. Hey, so what stuck out to me was that verse right there. A little bit of what you talked about. Well, you guys just pretty much put together the whole sermon. You got Jesus' leadership. We got the wedding. We're going to talk about that parable, and then we're going to land a plane with the Great Commission. And we'll try to get some Christmas undertone in all this. So we've been as we've been going through Matthew, we've over the last few weeks, since it's Advent season, we've been talking about like what are gifts that we should be giving to our family. Okay. And I think the first week we talked about teaching, offering the gift of teaching, because we see Jesus come in the first few chapters of Matthew being heavy on the teach. That's where we find Sermon on the Mount, heavy on the teaching. And then Charles preached a couple weeks ago when a lot of us were off at a wedding. If you were here that week and there wasn't very many people here, that's why half the church was at the wedding. And then Charles talked about offering the gift of purpose, like instilling purpose. Jesus came, he called his disciples, and can I get a tissue? My nose keeps itching. I just don't want to keep digging in my nose. They're around here somewhere. Come on, Angie. Thanks. Yeah, we're. Some churches we may not pause in the middle for whoever's speaking to blow his nose, but we're gonna do. Am I good?
You look
You
good.
good? Thanks. All right. What was I talking about? All right, so give the gift of teaching, give the gift of purpose, instilling purpose. Then last week we talked about giving the gift of presence, like just being present with your people that are close to you over these holidays. Because we saw Jesus come in and teach. We saw Jesus call people to follow him, and he gave them purpose and like authority. We'll talk about that today. And then we just saw him really be present and just do the work and do the ministry. And I think what struck me the most about chapters 22 through 28 is Jesus' leadership. I was so struck by how bold, how authoritative, how courageous, how like, man, I ain't playing with my people he is. And as a leader, I was just inspired by that. I was like, man, I want to move with this type of heart and this type of courage and this type of boldness. And yeah, Alicia, he did. Like he spent several chapters just calling out the Pharisees. For those of you who don't know who Pharisees are like the pious, self-righteous church folks of that time. They came to church in their suits, and it's funny too. We can be pious we come to church and clothes that are just as expensive as back in the day. We come in Jordans and stuff like that. So now this is the new suit, okay? A hat and sneakers. Nevertheless, but they're self-righteous. He was addressing their posture of heart that liked their position in community. And so Jesus came boldly with authority, calling out the nasty spirit, unjust, unrighteous, prideful spirit of the Christian leaders and community. He just came with boldness. And I was like, man, this guy is something else. While also healing, loving, like building community with the marginalized, just being Jesus. I was really struck by his leadership and boldness. And I thought, oh man, what a gift it would be for us to move with our families watching with that type of authority in community. Like, what a gift to offer our kids. Like I just don't think I'm going to get to the end of my life and my kids be like, man, just so thankful for that video game. Just like, man, that video game that you spent a lot of money on that I played for a couple of days. You know what I mean? Like, or that flying thing that you played with for a day. You know, like, I just don't think that's what, but I think they're going to remember when we offer these virtuous gifts like leadership. And so I want to glean from Jesus' leadership this morning, and I want to talk about that wedding. The Spirit drew me to this parable. And so Jesus is speaking to the crowds. He's teaching his disciples, people who are genuinely, there's a whole mixed bag of people. And there's people who are genuinely following him as his disciples and that are like soaking in this wisdom. And then there's other people, and I'm not trying to look at any one person in particular. I'll just look at you, Scott. There's other people that didn't want to hear it. They were doubters, they were posers, and they did not want to hear what Jesus was teaching. Their hearts were hard. They did not have eyes to see. They did not have ears to hear. Go with me to Matthew chapter 22. Oh, man, it's so good. So this is Jesus teaching and calling people out. So great. So he tells this parable. You know what? I was looking at something. If you look over to your left in chapter 21, in verse 23, Jesus is actually being called out, and these priests and elders. It's not just Pharisees. Priests and elders are saying, hey, what's your authority? You're doing all these things. He came in, he turned over the tables, like we get all that. What's your authority, and who gave you this authority? You're walking around here like you're somebody. Where'd you get this authority? Okay, just had to get that caveat in there. Chapter 22, verse 1. And again, Jesus spoke to them in parables, saying, the kingdom of heaven may be compared, okay, so God's kingdom, it may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son and sent his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding feast. But they would not come. So we got they would not comers. They weren't even trying to hear it. Verse 4. Again, he sent other servants saying, tell those who are invited, see, I've prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fat calves have been slaughtered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast. Come join the party. They didn't barbecue like we do nowadays. Back then, like, you had to prepare, and it was only special occasions. And this guy has killed multiple oxen and fattened calves. He's been waiting and preparing for this special day. His son is getting married and is going to be united with his bride. And just a caveat, man, when that's done, like it was done recently at Cliff and Taylor's wedding, man, it's beautiful. Like, man, y'all did it. Y'all did it right. It was amazing because the foundation was Christ. And I've been to some weddings where it's all smoke and mirrors, but there's no Christ at the foundation. But when Christ is at the foundation, hey, man, kill the calves. Hey, do all the bells and whistles. You can't actually do this up enough based on what Jesus deserves. And so when you're giving Jesus glory, man, let's do it right. All right, caveat. So anyway, this father has killed the calves, killed the oxen, and the feast is ready. So we got some people who say, yeah, I ain't going to do that. They already had their mind made up. They were a quick no. The next people were distracted. They were misprioritized. It says, verse 5, but they paid no attention and went off, one to his farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his servants, treated them shamefully, and killed them. The king was angry, and he sent his troops and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. Now, like Scott was saying, Jesus was talking about how like the Jewish people, the people of Israel were, I mean, this is hard truth. But he's talking about how like, man, I sent prophets. You guys are ignoring me. The Messiah is here. You have been ignoring the signs. You're so committed to your culture and your tradition that you can't even see that the Savior is here. You killed the prophets, the ones that you were supposed to be listening to. You killed them, and now you're about to kill me. And the Father is upset. And he's also prophesying in this, talking about, some people would say, I would agree, that the destruction of Israel, of the temple, is coming. So that's why, hey, what he's saying to you, what he's saying to these people is he's like, y'all ain't listening to the Father, and he's really upset with you. And I can imagine there's some angst stirring in his soul because this isn't the birth story. Sorry, we're going to talk about that a little bit. But not only that, but here's my homework for you before I forget. Spend some time just reading that Jesus story. If you came to church for me to tell you the story about Jesus' birth, that's what you came for, you can read it. Go read it in context and then read the whole story all the way to the end. Like, read Matthew 1 and 2. Read Luke 1 and 2. You know, there's multiple tellings of the story, and it's pretty interesting. Luke doesn't mention the Magi, but he mentions the shepherds. It's pretty cool. I've been reading it throughout the week. I challenge you, go read it. Meditate on it. Make this week worshipful unto the Lord who is deserving. Anyways, what was I talking about? So, Jesus is saying, man, I was talking about his angst. This is not like the birth story. This is like the last few days. This is like Passion Week. Okay? This is the baby done grew up, and he's about, this is what he grew up to be. And it's a beautiful example to us, because if we're going to give the gift of leadership to our babies that we're called to steward, to our family members that we're called to steward, man, I hope I can see it. I can see my babies. I can see my daughter. I can see my young man. I can see your daughters and your young men. I can see them. I can see them growing up to be people who carry themselves in community, and I can see it. And carry themselves with the authority based on the identity that God has given them. Oh, I can see it. It's exciting. And so Jesus is moving with that authority that the Father gave him, and he is calling these people out. Where are we at? What verse? 8? Let's read 7 again, just for me to get back on track. The king was angry, and he sent his troops and destroyed those murderers and burned the city. Boom. Verse 8. Then he said to his servants, the wedding feast is ready, but those invited were not worthy. That's interesting language. This is not earthly language. This is kingdom language. He said, those people who were invited, they actually weren't even worthy. I invited them, but they're not even worthy to come. It's not I invited them, but they didn't want to come. I invited them, but they ain't even worthy to be here. They don't realize the value of what's going on. Okay? So he says, what's he say? Go, therefore. Can anybody think of any other time that Matthew uses the language of go, therefore? Does that sound familiar, Paris? Man, Jesus, always teaching, always intentional. I wonder if when Jesus did the Great Commission and he was like, all authority on heaven and earth has been given to me, go therefore. They were like, ooh, the wedding. Oh, I heard him say this before. Who, remember when he told us that one about the wedding, bro? Wow. And so they tap back in to the value of their calling. Go therefore, trigger word, to the main roads and invite to the wedding feast as many as you find. Just trying to catch my breath. Go therefore to the main roads and invite to the wedding feast as many as you can find. Can I just say a caveat right there? It's actually like talking about street corners. Go to where the people are. Now, it's a parable, okay? I don't think Jesus is necessarily saying go to the highways and the byways. I don't think he's necessarily saying go to Roscoe and Winnetka and start telling people. It's a parable. It's a parable. Now, if you do that, that's fine. But what I think he's saying is, hey, there's some people that don't want this. But don't worry, there's some people who are overlooked and who absolutely do want this. There's some people who do want it. Go find them. Go be in community. Go find them. Go find the people who want this and invite them. Invite them to the feast. There's some people who want this barbecue. Mike's on the grill. There's some people who want this. Are you guys tracking with me? Verse 10. And those servants went out into the roads and gathered all whom they found, both bad and good, all types of people. So the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to look at the guests, he saw there a man who had no wedding garment. And he said to him, "Friend, how did you get in here without a wedding garment?" And he was speechless. Let's talk about it for a second. This is not, how'd you get in here dressed like that? That's not what it is. So we got the people who weren't trying to hear it. They weren't even thinking about following Jesus. They weren't even thinking about the banquet. I ain't got time for that. Then we got people who's like, they ignored him. They paid no attention. I'm too distracted. My job is more important. My farm is more important. My business is more important. And we got other people that were like, bro, get out of here. And they slayed the prophets. This dude right here, I don't know about you, but when I read it, and Jesus, man, he's such a good storyteller. He tells stories in such a way, just like, why did he do that? These are things that in the past I probably would have glazed over, glossed over, I don't get it. But if you explore this dude was actually more trifling than anybody else. And you say, why? Because he didn't come dressed right? Because he didn't have his wedding gear on? That doesn't sound like Jesus. He wouldn't shame somebody for not, you're right, he wouldn't shame somebody for not coming dressed appropriately to church. I thought about wearing a suit today, and then this morning I was like, I ain't doing all that. He wouldn't shame. So what is going on here? This is an odd part of the story, Jesus. And yet you're telling me this is what the kingdom of heaven is like. So I think the important piece is this. Back in the day, yes, you were expected to dress appropriately for a big celebration. But back in the day, it was common for the wedding host, the family, to you know this, Caesar? It was common for the host to give the attire to the guests, to provide attire for the guests. So not only do you get the invite, but you get hooked up with a new robe. It's your ticket in. I'm looking it up, like, as it says garment. I'm like, is it like a sash or something? No. It's the full set. It's the robe. You get a whole new tunic. That's your ticket in. So was this person wealthy? It says he was a king. He killed a whole bunch of calves. They got all-you-can-eat meat. They got Fogo de Chao going on. You better believe he got some bread. Can you imagine that, Greg? That not only you're responsible to cut the check, but you're responsible to tailor everybody, take them to the haberdashery and get them suited up? No! This dude did it! And here's the thing, though, I think it's interesting, because if you didn't have the gear, you weren't getting in. This dude is the ultimate party crasher. This is the ultimate wedding crasher. I don't know, Jesus didn't say it, but I imagine he had to get in, because if he was somebody who snuck in, like Jesus would have sensed that. He would have sniffed that out. Little poetic justice here, forgive me, but the way I see it is, because you can't get in without the ticket. Your name wasn't on the list. We know from the context for sure he was tripped, like he was downright disrespectful to the king. But I imagine him being like, just kind of draping it on, like over his, I got it. I got my gear right here. And they let him in. And then him being like, I ain't wearing this. He didn't understand the value of the gift that was given to him. He dismissed the garment that was handed. Everyone else who couldn't afford it was given a gift. And they were able to clothe themselves in royal garb for the royal wedding. They were invited to the prince. They were invited to the prince's wedding. Can you imagine going, I don't know, to England and showing up and being disrespectful like that? Can you imagine? And so what he's saying is, remember, who's he talking to, Alicia? He's talking to the Christian people. He's talking to the religious people. He's talking to the church folks. He's saying, some of y'all come up in here and act like you deserve to be here. He didn't understand that, guess what? They all crashed the wedding. They all didn't deserve to be there. But everybody else who was there was like, yo, nice robe. I get to clothe myself in white. I've never worn white before. I've never thought I was worthy to wear white before. I never thought I deserved that. But the king said, bro, I got the bread. I got it paid for. Go. I want you here. Other people didn't want to be here, but you want to be here. And then we got this cat that's coming in as the ultimate poser. I ain't wearing this. Oh. Hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing here faking the funk? What are you doing here pretending like you deserve to be here? Jesus has the right to be upset. Because Jesus knows what he just walked into Jerusalem to do. I've been reading the Christmas story over the past week or so, right? I told you that. Well, what do you know from Luke 1? Jesus goes where when he's 12? Where does he go? He goes to Jerusalem, to the temple, and the story says, oh, you're going to have so much fun when you read this. The story says that he went there every year to do this for the Passover. He's got great memories going to Jerusalem with his family, sitting with the elders of the church, rapping with them. He's probably, oh my gosh, he's probably looking in the eyes. Some of those same men that respected his wisdom when he was little are the same men that endorse his crucifixion. And you don't want to put on your robe? You don't realize how much this is about to cost me in a matter of days. You don't realize. You wanted to celebrate me when I was a baby, but when it comes, you want to celebrate me at Christmas, but you don't want to put in the work? You don't want to celebrate me now? Merry Christmas, guys. How was church? The music was great. And then we just all got punched in the face after that. It was good. Well, that's what he did. That's what he did, man. What would be the right response? What would be the right response? And I love that he just one dude. Just one dude. What would be the right heart posture and response to, hey, you've been invited. You've been called. Where am I at? 13. Then the king said to the attendants, bind him hand and foot, cast him into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few. Now, if this was me telling the story, I wouldn't use the word chosen. So many are called, but few respond. Many are called, but few answer the invitation. Many are called, but few RSVP. It's so true, right? Right? He says, many are called, but few realize that they're chosen. Hey, you're invited to, man, I was invited to a really big party recently. I was fired up. My wife and I spent money, got new slacks and a white shirt. I was in a suit. It happens sometimes. That's what I was going to wear. Bro, we are invited to the wedding banquet of the Lamb that was born, that we celebrate this week, that was slain. Like, we're invited. What would be the proper response to that calling? You chose me? You chose me? Oh. Leaders respond to the call with gratitude. The proper response is, I've seen you inviting people throughout the week, but I didn't know I was going to be included. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Absolutely, you're invited. Let me see if I can do this. Sorry, is this? Can you give me this one? Yeah, thank you. I'm going to try something. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. I'm going to try to also avoid tears. You're like, what are we trying? I'm going to try and I'm going to try and show you a picture. But I don't need you to see the picture. Okay? I need you to hear the live. You know live mode? You got me? Okay. This is I was in tears yesterday when the Lord was reminding me of this one. Two pictures that I'm going to try. Oh, where are they? Come on, Lord. They're in here. Give me a second. Two pictures from Christmas past. And hold on while I find them. There you go. You guys ever look at pictures of your kids when they were? Yeah, bro. I got to turn the sound on. Let me see if this is the right one. I got a couple of them here. No, okay, here. This is good. Hear the rapping. You got it? It's the invitation. Mm-hmm. Let me make sure it's the right one. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. Did you hear it? You hear the rapping? What'd you hear? Do it again. Did you hear it? Y'all don't care like I do. This is my baby opening up, I don't know, Transformer or something. Hey. And I'm just snapping pictures. Hold on, here it goes. I'll give it to you again. Yes. Do you get it? Hey, you were invited. You were invited. Yes. And some of us, we're too busy with work. Oh, we don't even really care. We're distracted with whatever other responsibility. But you were invited to the wedding banquet for the king is putting on for his son. Yes. I remember when I was I was little, man. Some family members had went on a trip, and for Christmas they got us all gifts, and we were all opening up our gifts, and it was a T-shirt from where they went. And my outspoken younger cousin, Luke, he's a grown man now, but he was being asked, because both of his T-shirts fit. I don't know why they wouldn't just give him both T-shirts, but they were like, which one do you want? They were making him choose because they were resizing, regifting everybody. All right, the oldest, they bought him too small. We had grown, so then the oldest didn't get one. They were going to get a new one for I think it was my sister, and everybody else was getting passed down. They were getting hand-me-downs that hadn't even been worn yet. And so the youngest cousin got 2 T-shirts, and they said, Lucas, which one do you want? He's over there playing with his toys by the Christmas tree. I can see him in Grandma Norma's house right now, right there in the living room, playing with his toys. Lucas, which one do you want? Lucas, which one do you want? He looks up, he said, I don't want either one of them. I want a toy. So I was like, and the rest of the cousins were like, feel you, bro. I feel all that, right? This ain't a T-shirt, guys. If we truly know the value of these pure white wedding garments that we're going to get to rock for eternity and the value, then we got no business playing church and playing Pharisee. Yes! I don't know about you, but that's what I anticipate my response to entering into heaven's gates, right? Yes! Do you have the same response when you hear, go therefore? Me? Yes! Not only do you get to come to the banquet, but you get to have a whole bunch of purpose. How do you respond to the idea that God gave you authority? Who gave you that? Where did this authority come from? Who gave this to you? It came from Jesus, not from me. I don't even deserve to be here, but I get to go to the party and I get to walk this world with purpose. Yes! Who gave you this authority? My Father, He's the King. He gave me the authority. It's not anything special about me. I just embrace this leadership gift, this leadership thing with gratitude. And then I embrace the go therefore thing with authority. What would it look like for all of us to be given the gift of authority from the King, knowing that we're going to go to the wedding banquet one day, but in the meantime, we get to serve Him by going out into the streets, to the highways and byways where everybody else is. Go be where the people are. Ariel. Isn't that Ariel who's saying that? Yeah, I want to be. Okay. Do you though? Yes. Go therefore. Yeah. What would it look like? There's some people in our community that make it look real good. I was making notes of them this week. Celebrating some people, not limited to, so don't feel bad if you got left out. Oh, so look, I could probably I'll just go with Christina. There's some other people in this, there's some people in our community that are modeling this really well, that don't have a church business card, they don't have pastor, they don't have a title. There's some people in our community that are doing this really well. And my wife has a relationship with this woman, Christina. And we got to make sure we get this to Christina. She'll be encouraged. Christina loves her some Jesus, man. She loves her some Jesus. She's involved with a homeschool co-op, cohort thing. I don't know what it is. She's starting. What's up, Tadros? Good to see you, baby. Love you, man. Save a hug for me afterwards. Christina, our friend, she's homeschooling her kids. She's organizing the athletic program for the homeschool program. She has started businesses where she's into fitness, right? Like, so she mentors, she does discipleship through everything she does is for Jesus. Everything she does, because she understands that I've been given authority. You don't have to wait for you to be given like some assignment in church to go out with authority and be a leader in community. You've already been given the authority. What would it look like for us to walk out in community like, oh my gosh, I'm going to the party, and I'm going to the party, but I've also been given I didn't even think about it this way. I've also been given the commission to include others. Can you imagine those servants' faces when they were like, hey, bro, I got something for you, man. And then they're like, I don't want this. Can you imagine walking around with garment packaged, folded? Hey, bro, I got something for you. You know what this is. And people are dismissive of it. The servants were like, oh, you don't get it? You don't see it? You don't want to come? You don't smell the barbecue? Man, leaders embrace the call with gratitude because we realize we're chosen. He chose me. He chose to invite me, and he chose to give us a commission. And so if that's the case, and this is such a challenge for me because you guys hear it sometimes. You guys hear, my wife calls me out on it. She watches the messages later after she's done watching the kids. She watches the messages later. She hears how I speak about myself sometimes. That's lack of faith. No more of that. We walk in authority because God chose us. God chose us. And so the proper response is to walk by faith and authority to serve. Okay. Now, here's what I got to say. We don't get to grab a hold of this like the Pharisees and walk around like, man, God chose me. I'm going to the wedding. No, that's not the posture of heart. Jesus died. Like, yes, he carried himself with authority, and then he died. And he suffered. So the point is this. When I say that we have authority, it's not authority to walk around the streets and be a jerk. Okay? That's not us receiving this message. Jesus came humbly as a baby. He grew. And he became this leader that we get to glean from. And so the last thing I'll say, and you guys can come up and do some song. You guys can come up now, actually. Did you guys lose Liz? So probably, maybe I can't do the last one. Whatever. I'll let you go as you feel led. Do your thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I'll probably teach this more sometimes, but when I say go with the authority as a leader, a lot of times we're not really clear on what that is and what that means. And the way that I like to define what a leader is with three things that we learn from Jesus. Leaders are followers. Some of you guys are like, I can't walk with that type of authority. I can't go out there and be a disciple maker. I can't go out there and be a leader. How am I going to model that for my family? I don't have that. Do you know how to follow great leadership? Because Jesus said, hey, come what? Got it. Come follow me. The best leaders are the best followers. And we've got the best leader. So what does that mean for us? That if we follow him, we're going to become great leaders. Does this world need more great leaders walking with authority? Yes. Okay. So leaders are followers. Nextly, leaders are learners. What is a disciple? Disciple is a learner. Disciple never stops learning. Do you have what it takes to be a great learner? I was asking Max the other day, hey, what do you respect most about this guy? He said, man, he's coachable. We got a chance because he's coachable. Leaders are great followers. Leaders are great learners. And leaders are great servants. You want to be great? Man, just serve. Do you have what it takes to follow? Do you have what it takes to learn? Do you have what it takes to serve? Leaders follow Jesus. They never stop learning, and then they just look for opportunities to serve. Can you walk with that type of gratitude and awareness of your calling? Can you walk with authority as a follower, a learner, and a servant? I think you can. Let's go ahead and worship, and then I'll close this out.
We're going to sing a little bit of Light of the World again. So if you can stand with us. And if you don't know it and you just want to spend this moment listening or in prayer, you can absolutely do that. But we're going to sing a part of this, and then we have one more Christmas song to close.
The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. The child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from the sea of her. Oh come, Emmanuel. And can you hear the angels singing glory to the light of the world? Glory, the light of the world is here. The drought breaks with tears of a mother. The baby's cry is the sound of love. Come down, Emmanuel. Oh, here's a song for the suffering. He is Messiah, the Prince of Peace has come. He has come, Emmanuel. Oh, glory to the light of the world. Glory to the light of the world. Glory to the light of the world. Glory to the light of the world, for all who wait, for all who hunger, for all who pray, for all who wander. Behold your King, behold Messiah, Emmanuel, Emmanuel. The world waits for a miracle. The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies, with angelic hosts proclaim,
Hey, I think about the wise men that heard and they understood the whole story. They're like, oh, this